This is your introduction to Calltronics Incorporated, a leading national manufacturer of satellite TV receiving systems since 1980. Based in Richland Center, Wisconsin, KTI has been a steady in growth since its inception. Founded by John Call, an innovative and self-driving individual, KTI has grown from the first day when Call and his wife set up business in the fledgling industry. In that year, satellite TV systems numbered in the dozens across the country. Today, they can be counted in the hundreds of thousands. KTI has been a part of that amazing growth in an industry which has been described as the fastest growing in America. Calltronics today numbers more than 60 employees. It has office warehouses in Boulder, Colorado, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Marietta, Georgia. Quality has been the code name for KTI since it was started, and that word is part of the industry definition for this Wisconsin-based firm. At a recent trade show, one of four which the firm attends and exhibits at each year, a distributor was informed of a new Calltronics product, a mesh antenna. The distributor immediately placed a sizable order. Asked about why he hadn't even bothered to examine the product before placing that order, the distributor replied, "If Calltronics made it, I know it's good." That's the sort of confidence you build from day one. KTI has developed unique and highly accepted products, including the line of Nova antenna. First, there were the series of fiberglass dishes, some capable of being enlarged by extender panels, especially for commercial use. Then, in 1982, the development of the stainless steel antenna, the only one in the industry. It's formed in a hydroforming process under thousands of pounds of pressure. A sheet of high-quality, heavy-gauge stainless steel becomes as smooth as silk antenna with a 10-year warranty. Virtually indestructible, stainless steel has become the industry byword for quality. Qualtronics' new mesh antenna has provided a revolutionary breakthrough in quality and pricing. Thanks to its redesigned ribbing, made of tubular 16-gauge steel, the ribs are encased in polytrans vinyl. The result is strength plus a lower cost of production. The result has been a price saving passed on to the consumer through the distributors. What's next for Qualtronics? The industry is doubling each year. KTI has a goal of meeting and surpassing that growth, always keeping its reputation for quality and dependability as an integral part of that growth.
Hello, welcome once again to Qualtronics Video Newsletter. Well, as you can tell, we're in a different area for taping. That's because we have some progress here. We have in our new studios, I'm sitting in what will be my office and part of the area that'll be control room. Beyond it, the studios are still in a state of construction, just as we are here, but every week you can see some progress. We're proud of it because we're going to have a really top-notch studio here for our video productions. Our basic aim, as you probably know, is to bring the best possible entertainment as well as information to you for the dealers, distributors, manufacturers, and the consumers out there. We want to keep on improving, and we want the product to continue to be a top seller. Qualtronics is happy, of course, to bring this weekly program to you. Today's program has some real highlights for you. A final segment of a distributors workshop meeting down at Evansville, Indiana. We're going to, of course, be on the air with this show on the last day of the CES show out in Las Vegas, and we certainly wish you all well out there. Also, we've had a number of requests for the sequence that we did on the production of our stainless steel antennas here in Wisconsin. This is quite a impressive sequence, and particularly one of the dealers who phoned said, please show it again. We want to tape it. We want to show it to people because it is so impressive. It's not as though we're putting together a he referred to it as a backyard or a garage type of product. This is a big product, and it takes a huge press to come up with the finished product. Also today, we want to have some highlights from past shows. We want to tell you about 1985, and we certainly want to wish you a good start on the 1985 year. Now, on with the show.
Hi, I'm Jim Sund. Channel Guide gets with the program.
Hi, I'm Leslie Howard.
Hi, I'm Mary Covens.
Hi, I'm Dina Newberg.
Hello, I'm Pat Hennig.
Hello, my name's Catherine Edgar.
And this is Lloyd Covens with some of the Channel Guide crew here at the 1984 SAT Expo. Channel Guide gets with the program every week, 52 times a year. And our new publication, Galaxy One, gives you the best from the new used communication satellite. Our easy-to-read grid format and our monthly updated logs, and interesting ads and information. So for your free sample to Channel Guide or Galaxy One, call now. Operators are standing by. 1-800-654-3006. That's Channel Guide, a free sample copy by calling 1-800-654-3006.
Our Technicians Corner today will deal with programming a Luxor. Here's Dale Davenport.
Today I'm going to run through the programming of a Luxor system. I have here the Luxor 9534 actuator control and the Luxor 9550 receiver. Now, the first thing that one should do is to thoroughly read the instructions. I'd say 80% or better of the problems I see are caused by improper setup, which could have been avoided if the customer had just read the instructions. Now, I have everything set up outside, the system is tracking, I have everything wired, and I'm ready to program this system. Besides reading the instructions, one should have available a listing of all the satellite services. This can be obtained from any of your sat guides or channel guides or any of these. Okay, now the first thing I want to do is program the Luxor receiver. Since I know the system is tracking, I'm going to choose a channel which is easily recognized on SATCOM 3 because I want to find SATCOM 3. I choose 11. It's MTV. It's very easily recognizable. And I go east and west. I will go eastward because I know that I am slightly east of SATCOM 3. Okay, I move the actuator control until I find SATCOM 3. Okay, I now have pictures for SATCOM 3. Now, I will start out by programming from the bottom end on up. Dial up channel 1. Initially, you will get nothing but snow. We have the two tuning buttons on the front of the Luxor 9550. The left one will tune downwards, and the right one will tune upwards. Now I will go down below all the channels until I have nothing but snow. Okay, I then start coming up, and I know that the first channel I hit will be either 1 or 2, depending on which polarity I'm on. Okay, I find the first channel I hit and verify that it is Nickelodeon. So I know that I am on channel 1. I tune for my best picture and hit the store button. This is done with the AFC off. Okay, I now have stored the position of channel 1. I flip up to channel 3, go down. Initially I will be in between all of the channels. Okay, I am below them now. I start coming up. The first one I hit will be channel 1. There, and the second one I hit will be channel 3. Then fine tune for my best picture on channel 3 and hit my store button. Run up to channel 5. Start coming up. I hit 1, 3, and 5. Fine tune on channel 5 for my best picture and hit the store. Run up to channel 7. Okay, locate where I am. I come up. The first channel I hit is channel 1, then I hit 3, then I hit 5, and then 7. Fine tune for my best picture and hit the store. You do this procedure for all of the even channels, or all of the odd channels. Then we dial up the even channels and do the exact same procedure for all of the even channels. Now the reason I chose SATCOM 3 is because it's the one most watched, most people are the most familiar with this, and it is very full of transponders. Okay, now once I have stored all of my transponder positions, I can turn my AFC on, and the Luxor receiver is programmed at this time. Okay, now I'm ready to program the Luxor actuator. Now prior to doing this, refer to your satellite services listing and find an odd and an even channel that will be easily recognized on all of the satellites that you intend to program in. For display purposes, I am only going to program Galaxy 1 and SATCOM 3. And I have picked channel 7 on Galaxy as an odd channel, which is CNN, easily identified, and channel 12, which is Home Team Sports. So I have an even and an odd channel. On SATCOM 3, I will look for channel 4, which is FNN Sports Time, easily recognized, and MTV channel 11. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is hit the master clear function for my 9534 actuator control. This is done by punching satellite, function, 5, and the store button on the front of the actuator control. Satellite, function, 5, and store. At this time, I will get the blinking double zeros displayed on the counting output. I now want to set my westernmost limit, my lower limit. So I will go west until I am below the westernmost satellite I want to program, which for these purposes will be Galaxy 1. Okay, I'm on SATCOM 3 right now, which I use to program the receiver. I start moving westward, and I'm on Galaxy now, and I will continue to move westward until I'm slightly below this point. Okay, once I have set my lower limit, I'm now ready to program in the next satellite, which will be Galaxy 1. The first thing I do is hit Satellite Other 1 to tell the actuator control that I am ready to program in a satellite, which will be termed Other 1. At this time, I put the receiver into the scan mode and manually move the actuator eastward until I locate Galaxy. Okay, I have located Galaxy by the blips being displayed on the TV set. You can see that I have located a satellite. Now remove the receiver from the scan mode, and the first thing I want to do is find a channel that I can fine-tune my east and west to. Okay. Now adjust the polarity. I'm obviously out of polarity, just long enough to get a picture. Okay, I now have a picture, so I fine-tune my east and west for the best picture. Okay, now want to set the odd channel. I dial up channel 7, which I know is going to be CNN. Okay, I do not have CNN, so I adjust my polarity until I find CNN. Okay, once I fine-tune the polarity on an odd channel, I go to an even channel, which I've already picked out to be channel 12. And fine-tune the polarity until I find Home Team Sports. Okay, I continue to adjust my polarity until I get the best picture. And at this time, hit Store on the front of the actuator control. At this time, I have totally programmed in the position of Galaxy 1 and the polarity positions. I'm now ready to program the next satellite. This time I punch in satellite, SATCOM 3, which is the next satellite I intend to program, and move eastward until I find that satellite. Again, I move eastward until I just lose picture, flip the receiver into the scan mode, and move eastward until I have SATCOM 3. Remove the receiver from the scan mode, fine-tune my east and west for a best picture. I then dial up the odd channel that I have predetermined, which is 11. Okay, I do not have 11 displayed here, so I must fine-tune my polarity. Fine-tune the polarity until I do have MTV displayed. Okay, once I have adjusted the polarity on an odd channel for its best position, I choose an even channel, which I've already determined that I would use channel 4 because it's easily recognized, and adjust the polarity for the best position on an even channel. Okay, once I have adjusted the polarity for the best picture, I hit the Store button again, and at this time I have programmed in the position of SATCOM 3 and its polarities. I will now go slightly above this satellite and set my upper limit, since this is the easternmost satellite I intend to program. Go eastward until I lose picture, and then to punch in my uppermost limit, you punch in function 2 and hit the Store button. At this time, I have programmed the Luxor system. If I want to recall a satellite, say Galaxy, I punch in satellite, other 1. The green active light is lit while the control is moving. Okay, once the active light is extinguished, it tells me that I have arrived on satellite. And by the picture, you can see that I have come right onto Galaxy. The polarity is automatically controlled. I can switch to an odd channel or to an even channel and automatically adjust my polarity. If I want to, say, go to SATCOM 3 now, I punch in satellite, SATCOM 3. The green active light comes on again. I am moving. Okay, now we have arrived on SATCOM 3. I'm on an odd channel. The polarity is automatically corrected for. If I go to an even channel, it automatically brings in with the polarity correct. I can punch up any channel, and it automatically handles the polarity adjustment. At this point, I have programmed my Luxor system, and I can recall satellite functions, channel functions, polarity fine-tune functions, and audio tune functions, all from the handheld remote.
Are you confused about satellite programming guides? Are you tired of monthly inaccurate guides that are big and bulky and about as much fun to use as a city phone book? How about tabloids with hard-to-read print, incomplete movie listings that are about as easy to use as a road map? Or newspaper guides with confusing grids that fall apart in your hands? There is an alternative. OnSet, the easy-to-read, easy-to-use weekly programming guide with more movies and sports. Best of all, OnSet is only $39. That's right, 52 issues for only $39. But don't take our word for it. We'll send you a free copy of OnSet, and you can judge for yourself. And if you're a dealer, ask about our dealer program. Make your customers happy and make money. Call OnSat now. Toll free 1-800-438-2020 or write OnSat, Box 2347, Shelby, North Carolina 28150. OnSat, you've seen the rest. Now try the best.
The only stainless steel antennas in the industry are produced by Caltronics. On a massive press that required 3 railroad cars to move to the plant site, the antennas are hydroformed each day. Using water in the hydroforming process, the antennas are turned out in 3 sizes, 66-inch, 90-inch, and 112 inches. Sheets of 304 gauge stainless steel are placed precisely on the press in preparation for the massive pressure to start the patented process during which the parabolic curve is developed. Tons of pressure are exerted during the process, an absolute necessity where stainless steel is concerned because of its superior strength and toughness. But once the stainless steel antenna is formed, it keeps that shape thanks to its molecular memory. That's why Qualtronics can offer a 10-year warranty on its antennas. The parabolic curve will not change. The Nova SS 112-inch antenna has been tested and approved for 2-degree spacing. Tests were conducted by Telstat Corporation of Houston, Texas. Qualtronics knows that because the press die is extremely accurate, thousands of dishes can be turned out with the same high quality. This is not the case with spun metal dishes, where each succeeding dish varies from the die because of the wear during the process. Stainless steel was chosen as the metal because of its vastly better tensile strength and qualities of reduced heat expansion. In fact, it has twice the resistance to heat expansion as aluminum and has 3 times the tensile strength. It's much smoother and is also non-corrosive. After the process during which the dish is formed, excess water is expelled while the majority of the water used in the forming process is recovered and recycled. The press slowly withdraws and permits workmen to remove the completed antenna, inspect it, and continue the water drainage. The 183-pound SS-112 is lifted effortlessly by the vacuum hoist, visually inspected, and moved to the cutting rack, where a workman neatly trims the surplus steel from the edges with a plasma cutter. The dish edges are clean and uniform after that process. The antenna is lifted off the cutting rack and swung over toward the finished stack. Once again, a visual inspection takes place. Workmen know that because the machine die is extremely accurate, thousands of dishes can be turned out with that same high quality.
Welcome to the world of satellite TV opportunities, the magazine that brings you inside information on successful marketing and sales techniques, details the latest in new technology, and lets you see how other dealers increase their sales and profits.
Satellite TV Opportunities magazine is the marketing techniques magazine for satellite TV dealers. Our single purpose is to help dealers increase their sales and their profits through improved marketing techniques.
Satellite TV Opportunities offers insight into the latest trends in marketing, profiles thriving businesses, and surveys what TVRO buyers are really after. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-922-2812. For $25, you get a full year subscription to Satellite TV Opportunities, a magazine full of new ideas that will help your business thrive. 1-800-922-2812. Call today. MasterCard and Visa accepted.
We'd like to unveil our Qualtronics Trans 10 antenna. It's all new and a born winner.
Quality, performance, and strength, and all at a highly competitive price. It's the all-new Trans 10 Mesh by Coltronics. Engineered for maximum durability and reflective surface, the Trans 10 is also extremely easy to look at. It has a baked acrylic thermoset black finish that gives it that low luster appeal. Aesthetically speaking, the Trans 10 is not just another beautiful face, it's got plenty of other qualities to back it up. The extra strength hub is parabolically formed to maximize signal strength. Like the keystone of a great building, the hub is engineered of 3/16-inch prime steel and measures a solid 14.5 inches in diameter. The ribs are made of superior strength tubular 16-gauge steel encased in polytrans vinyl, especially formulated for the satellite industry. The end result? Solid strength, at the same time minimizing the size of the ribbing. Now this avoids the bulky appearance of so many mesh antennas. The polytrans vinyl ribs of the Trans 10, in another innovative feature, have full half-inch unobstructed mesh retaining channels. The mesh panels slide smoothly into place simply and surely, making for fast assembly time and snug positioning. Another bonus, better retention of the panels in high wind areas and maximum reflector signal with no gaps in the reflective area. It's a distinct advantage over other mesh designs. High gain means better performance. The Trans 10 has an outer rim of rigid extruded aluminum anchored securely to the ribs and center hub to form a solid framework for the panels. The mesh panels themselves are of expanded flattened aluminum with a 1.040 thickness and 0.045 strand width. The mesh in all exposed frame parts have a baked acrylic thermoset finish. All antenna hardware is plated for weather protection. The new Trans 10 antenna features a Nova polar mount with greasable self-aligning bearings. They reduce wear of the pivot points to an absolute minimum. The mount also has a 4-inch by 4-inch box tubing for the elevation beam. The Trans 10 mount also has an infinitely adjustable declination offset to optimize the trackability of the system regardless of geographic location. Compare this mount with other mounts that you see on the market, and you'll find that the difference will be very apparent. The Trans 10, with its 10-foot diameter, has a deep dish design for maximum gain, a focal length of 44 13/16 inches, and an FD ratio of 0.375. The Trans 10 is UPS shippable anywhere in this country with a weight of 155 pounds for easy handling. Without a doubt, the Trans 10 by Coltronics is destined to be the front runner in the industry, the ultimate mesh antenna design, because it has quality, performance, and eye appeal.
Want to know more about satellite TV? Then go to the source for product reviews and how-tos. We're on the road and out in space, and sometimes in very cold places, with features and technical reports. It's all in satellite TV. That's only $19.95 for 12 big issues of STV magazine. Call now, 1-800-438-2020, and get this LCD calendar clock free with your subscription. That's 12 big issues of STV magazine and the clock for only $19.95. The number again is 1-800-438-2020. 1-800-438-2020. Call now.
As we mentioned, we have a final segment of a dealer workshop and seminar down in Evansville, Indiana. This is a segment of a very interesting topic by Joe Lipsig.
What's going to happen is you're going to see some big corporations coming in, and they're going to do the tooling. What should a receiver of tomorrow have? Okay, let's talk about the receivers, because that's really easy. First of all, it looks like a stereo, which means it's either got a brushed aluminum or a trendy black case, not a dull black case. It's got a fluorescent display. The switches are true soft touch switches. The confusion of polarization is gone. There are no polarization controls on this receiver for the consumer to operate. They're completely gone. The audio, you got to be kidding. How many receivers have good audio in the marketplace today? It's generally garbage. Now, it's a problem. Satellite audio is the most complex audio in existence. You know, it ranges, the deviation, which is the bandwidth of the audio, ranges 15 kilohertz all the way up to 700 kilohertz. This has never occurred in other industry. That's because we don't have a format designed for consumers. If you want, as a cable service or as a commercial user of satellite television, you buy an audio processor for the service you want. But we have to have a receiver that gets everything. So we've got wide and narrow switches. And I don't know how many you've got. If you think polarization is bad, start trying to describe what the audio is all about. You tell people, well, look, there's mono and there's stereo on the satellites. But mono is kind of what you're used to, but stereo we have, let's see, we have discrete stereo, and we have matrix stereo, and then we have multiplex stereo. And sometimes we have 2 subcarriers with the same program. Sometimes if we have discrete stereo, we have 3 subcarriers with the same program. You try to explain to them which is which and how to figure it out. And then you start trying to tell them, well, you know, if you can possibly get that tuned, and remember, you got to put the lower channel on the left on matrix. About the deviation. You got a wide, narrow switch. That's not a consumer product. The products of tomorrow take care of that. Take care of all that. And they're designed to be serviced. What you're going to see in the marketplace happening is that the mail order approach to the business will be gone. Home satellite television is no different than any other electronics industry. And if you look at stereo sales, if you look at computer sales, you find about 10% of the business being mail order, and that's by the users, and the rest are either factory to dealer or distributor to dealer. And you don't find shotgun approaches. You don't find approaches where the manufacturer just pushes his product out and hopes that it goes somewhere. As the marketplace matures, and it depends how fast different players come in, but it's inevitable that what you'll find is restricted territories on brand name products for both distributors and dealers. In other words, if you're in a town and it's not a big city, you may be an authorized brand X dealer. Your neighbor wants to get brand X, he's not going to be able to get it. That's your protection. You're going to sell a brand name, and the distributor's going to be faced with the same thing. The distributor's going to be under a lot of pressure. They're going to have a real dilemma. You see distributors handling as many as 10 to 12 brands of receivers today, and practically, and just as many dishes actually, and half a dozen brands of LNAs. That's all going to be gone. If the distributors don't make the choices of what brands they're going to carry and what brands they're going to support, the manufacturers will make choices for them. Now, the first stage, I predict, will not be at the component level. It'll be at a modular level. Kind of like the original Quasar concept, where you can pull modules out and plug it in. But you're going to have technicians that are at least, television technicians. Eventually, what will happen to the marketplace is that there'll be 3 levels, maybe 4 levels of distribution. One will be the mail order houses, and I predict the mail order houses won't sell to the satellite dealers. They will sell to the consumers, just like they sell stereo equipment. The second level will be the mass merchants. the Sears and Wards are going to get into business. Curtis Mathis has already gotten into it. And they offer very attractive consumer financing. They'll offer service and installation when necessary. Third area will be the Kmarts of the world, the discount houses. They'll offer the systems for $7.95, $8.95, $9.95, the low-end stuff. Where does that leave the dealer? What's the function of the dealer of tomorrow? You know, where do all you fit in this scheme? I mean, how are you going to compete against the Sears of the world? How are you going to compete against the Kmarts of the world? Make a reasonable profit. Well, it would seem that you have two choices. The first is to get out of the retailing end of the business and start an installation company, or become more of an installation company and contract out to one of the mass merchants, contract out to one of the big chains that'll handle the stuff. And the second is to become truly a professional, to essentially do to satellite television what television retailers do. You know, you can go to Kmart, you can buy a TV, you can go to Sears, you can buy a TV, but yet you find a lot of television stores around. People go to them because they trust them, because they service them. When you go to a television store, you say, you know, you buy a Sylvania, and you say, well, what if it breaks down? And the guy says, I have a service department here. It's my service department. Or as an alternative, he might say, well, the guy in the next store right here, which is my building, is an independent, but I have a service contract with him. That's why I rent the space to him, and he does all our service work. You call him for 100% of our service work, he takes care of it. They have confidence in those people. So what the satellite television retailer of tomorrow will be is someone who sells probably the middle to the top end products. He won't sell the real cheap garbage because there's no way you can compete with the Kmarts of the world. You might sell one here and there. It's not going to be the bulk of your business. If you're not ready to service it, if you can't financially support it, if you're not operating the business, if you don't think you can operate the business as a professional, I would recommend that you start looking now, because within 6 months you're going to see these transitions occurring, at where you should go 6 months from now. If you don't have the financial backing and the wherewithal and the technical expertise, either acquire it or find other routes to get into in this business. And the manufacturer is going to be faced with exactly the same thing. You know, those manufacturers who are making the shoe boxes with the knobs on them and making actuators, which, by the way, are dead, next year you won't find, of any of the major units on the marketplace, you won't find two of them with a linear actuator moving the dishes. They'll all be worm systems or some kind of movement system built right into the dish. But the manufacturers who aren't prepared to compete in the new generation of satellite equipment better get ready to move too. And their alternatives for most of them are either to cash in, take the money they've gotten and run and simply leave the marketplace, or become OEMs. In other words, original equipment manufacturers supplying other manufacturers. A lot of people, systems will become dominant, and a lot of people say they'll make a dish and receiver, they want to make a feed horn, something like that, be supplying it, or an LNA, anything. You can supply other manufacturers an OEM, or you'll be bankrupt. Those are the only three choices left. When I look at the number of players that are in today's marketplace in terms of manufacturers, and I won't enumerate them, but I count less than 10 manufacturers in today's marketplace that you will see as brand names tomorrow. In today's marketplace, we're selling kits. Somebody comes into your store and they say, boy, I'm going to give you a Radex dish. I'm going to give you, you know, a high-tech feed horn. I'm going to give you, you know, a KLM receiver, and I'm going to give you a, you know, somebody's actuator and then somebody else's LNA. There are only two components of the system. That's a dish and a receiver. There's nothing else. Nothing else matters. Nothing else makes any difference. You know, I don't know if any of you have ever bought a computer. You go buy an IBM computer. Did you ever ask whose disk drive is in the computer? You don't care. You're buying an IBM computer. There is a name brand, and a real enthusiast, a buff, will say, oh, yeah, that's such and such a disk drive in it. Nah, all the stuff is gone. It'll be there, it'll be part of the system. And systems are what are going to dominate. And what you want to do is get linked up with selling one or two brands, and that's all you'll need tomorrow's marketplace, that have enough versatility to move you up and over. That means that you have good, better, and best receivers. That means you have dishes that range from probably 10 foot is the biggest you'll need anymore. 10 foot down to, depends where you live, 4.5 foot. And then somebody walks into your store and you qualify them. You start, you're going to sell satellite television just the way all other consumer electronics products are sold, just like cars are sold even. You know, you go in to buy that truck and it says $7,000 for the truck. And you say, oh boy, I'm going to go down. And by the time you leave the showroom, and it's not switch and bait, if you want that $7,000 truck, it's there. But by the time you left the showroom, you've spent $11,000. And you got a smile on your face. You think it's fantastic. Okay? Satellite television is sold exactly the same way. Somebody comes in. First of all, you do a quality. You can put a price on. Here's the basic system, and so on. But you know, and you qualify. You say, well, tell me what you watch. And the guy says, well, gee, I got a Sony TV with a remote control, and I've got and he lives in a better part of town and everything else. You say, you really don't want to get up and start turning one of these knobs. What you really want is you want a remote control. It works kind of like your Sony, don't you? The guy says, yeah. And then and you got a VCR, and so, well, how many televisions do you have in your house? And they go, well, we got one in the kitchen, one in the living room, one in the dining room, one in the bedroom, and the dog's got one. And, you go through this whole procedure and you say, well, wouldn't it be nice then if we can let's just start out with a simple system. How about if we put the whiz-bang, super gizmo receiver in the living room, and we put one that works just as well without so many bells and whistles in the bedroom, so you can watch that too at night. Watch it simultaneously. Because it'll be blocked. Everything will be blocked, by the way, next year. I don't know of any major receiver manufacturer who hasn't already committed their production lines to switch over to block by next spring. Anyway, that's where the industry is going to go.
The following is a list of dealers who handle the Qualtronics Nova SS line of satellite antennas. Satellite TV Systems, Amarillo, Texas. Unlimited Satellite, Madison, Wisconsin. Werner Satellite Incorporated, Elkhart, Indiana. Phillips Satellite Systems, Douglas, Wyoming. Synergy Enterprises, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Johnson Enterprises, Jamestown, North Dakota. Sky Power, Downs, Kansas. Midwest Satavision Incorporated, East Moline, Illinois. B&M Satellites, Glenoma, Washington. Phillips Satellite TV, New Haven, Michigan. Movie Magic Satellite, Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. Go Satellite Incorporated, San Marcos, California. Home Satellite Systems, Memphis, Tennessee. Satellite Antenna Systems Incorporated, Houston, Texas. Nichols Distributing Company, Bay City, Michigan. TVRO Satellite, Alpena, Michigan. Mid-Central Electronics, Swanville, Minnesota. Tri-County Satellite, Oxnard, California. ESI, Parkersburg, West Virginia. Calltronics would like to thank the distributors who carry the new Trans 10. Flame Satellite Products, Evansville, Indiana. Energy Options Incorporated, Cincinnati, Ohio. Eclipse Electronics Incorporated, Wayland, Michigan. Best Reception Systems, Rockwood, Tennessee. IVS Incorporated, Bristol, Tennessee. National Microdynamics Incorporated, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Joe Mill Electronics, Covington, Louisiana. Satellite Specialist, Bogalusa, Louisiana. Intercontinental Satellite Distribution Centers, Midvale, Utah. Gresham, Oregon. Anaheim, California. Satellite Antenna Systems Incorporated, Houston, Texas. STS, Sandy Springs, South Carolina. STS, Gainesville, Florida. Warren Radio Company, Davenport, Iowa. Allstate Supply Company, Topeka, Kansas. Precision Satellite Systems, Clearwater, Florida. Satellite Earth Stations, Mamou, Louisiana. Satellite Earth Stations, Austin, Texas. Satellite Earth Stations, Macon, Georgia.
Well, that's our show for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Reminder once again, the reason for the unusual background is that we're going to be moving into this facility very shortly. We wanted you to have a preview of what we're in the control room. Studios out to my right, beyond the walls. We're underway. We have the noise of the always the top rock station where there's craftsmen around and people banging wood together. We have some noises of the pounding at times, the saws, the people shouting orders back and forth, but you'll watch that next week. We'll see some progress in the subsequent weeks. Hopefully later in January, we're going to be really rolling in our new studios, and then we will really bring some top-notch shows, even more top-notch than we have right now. So see you next week.